Everybody, this is Nightwing2303 from SneakerFiles.com. Today we're coming at you with another performance review, and today it's going to be on an old classic. It is the Adidas Crazy 8. I know that these have been retro before. I want to say once or twice. I actually don't remember, but this is the first time I can remember this colorway being released, which is the All-Star colorway, which has absolutely nothing to do with performance, but I really like this colorway, so I was really happy to see it come back. Being a 90s shoe, I was really curious to see if it actually would perform the way that I would maybe expect, or what I'm used to as far as today's type of shoes and technology, and I was really satisfied with the overall product. So without wasting too much of your time, let's get right into it. So one quick look at the shoe, and we will get straight into the bottom, which is the traction, again as usual. You can see that they use traditional herringbone, and honestly it worked really well on certain floor conditions. The only thing that I would like to have seen, again, this is a retro though, so I really don't expect anything to be changed too drastically as far as the overall look goes, like how they once were. But as far as today goes, herringbone has been modified quite a bit, and I'm trying to see if I have an example behind me, which I don't. Well, these are dirty, but we'll use them anyways. So you could see the Air Jordan 13. It has they're more of a pointed tip on the traction, so they peak. Like the overall shape is more like this, and the Adidas is more of just like a square, so it's very flat. So instead of being shaped like this, it's kind of shaped like that, even though it is a herringbone zigzag design. That's the only thing that I think would have really done this well. Again, this is exactly the way that it was before, originally back in the day. Actually, I think they came out with that shoe. They're both the All-Star ones. But anyways, so that's the only thing, because with them being so close together and there being no peak, it didn't allow for the floor to have as much friction as possible. I don't think I've ever said this on video, but basically when you have a peak or a pointed traction tip, it's like you're brushing the floor with it. So you know, when you brush something, it definitely goes against whatever it is, like the bristles and stuff like that. So there's just a little bit of friction there, which this didn't have. And then with them being so close together, it also held on to quite a bit of dust and things like that, which is why I tried to use these for court grip, hoping that it would increase their traction, but instead it made it worse. So but yeah, so traction was good, it just wasn't great. Even though it's herringbone still has, you know, a few things that could be better about it. You know, older style herringbone is definitely not perfect. The Kobe 4 is a perfect example where they're at a point, it's peaked, and then it goes entirely across the entire bottom of the shoe, and then they're not recessed like these are. So if you look at the side of the shoe, it's, you know, all one level, and the Kobe 4s, the traction is actually reversed to where the traction is prominent instead of inside of the shoe. So the cushion setup, again, it's just straight foam. It's just like the previous review that I did on Adidas with the Adizero Rose 2. Again, and also the Crazy Light. The Crazy Lights also use foam. That's pretty much all Adidas works with. It's EVA. It's got that torsion system. Torsion kind of flexes with your foot a little bit better. And on top of that, they had the same type of insole as the Adizero Rose 2, so this provided a little bit of extra cushion as well. You know, no frills, no gimmicks, just like the rest of their products. Worked incredibly well. No aches or pains after the games, no back pain, knee pain, anything like that. It looks bulky, but it's not. It is, but it doesn't feel that way when you're playing in them. It's quite surprising, especially with the heel looking extremely thick. But it's a very comfortable ride from heel to toe. not tiring whatsoever. They're not too heavy. They are heavier than a lot of shoes today, but it's not too heavy, so it didn't really affect me whatsoever. I was able to keep these on all night, no problem. Multiple runs, all that stuff, league games, and everything like that. So cushioning for these, it pretty much is as good as you're going to get for just a foam, you know what I mean? The only thing that I think would beat the basic foam that they use in here, the EVA, would be maybe Under Armour's Micro G is pretty much on point. And at this point I'm still testing the Flyweight 2, so I still don't have a huge opinion on Lunar Foam, or it's not Lunar Foam but Lunar Lawn right now. So, but as of now, you know, Adidas and Under Armour are pretty much neck and neck with which foam is better. As far as the materials and the fit is concerned, they fit perfect, true to size. There was a small area right here where I was getting a lot of pain actually the very first night. Basically what I did is I unlaced the shoe and I pulled the material, just kind of kept stretching it, trying to get it to soften up a little bit, break in, things like that. I wore them every chance I could around the house, inside, before games and things like that. Just to try to get them to loosen up a little bit. Once they did, everything was perfect. It does use a full-on leather upper, and then you have some like patent leather pieces, and then your foam midsole. So, you know, break-in time, you do need it, definitely. Once it's done though, they feel amazing. You know, that's probably one of the things that I do miss about 90s shoes, is just the materials alone. Adidas doesn't skimp out on you like some other brands. So, you know, I really enjoyed it. Definitely once it broke in, it was perfect. It takes damage really well. It doesn't peel or anything like that. You probably won't be able to see it, but there's a scuff on the toe, and there's a few scuffs around the ankle areas. And basically all it did was just kind of rub away that like textured leather look, but to me it wasn't a big deal. So I really like that. And then with the design here, again, you'd think that it would be extremely clunky, bulky, heavy, and play that way, which it doesn't. Transition from heel to toe is great. These points in here, these are actually flex points, so they go completely with your foot. Inside is even better. It definitely flexes. It's very nice. You know, just like the Adidas's the Feet You Wear older cushioning setup that was found in these, which is now torsion, and all of that stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I do hear quite a few people saying that there's not enough lockdown because of the eyelet panel stops right here. I don't know if that's what these things were made for. These 3M strips here, that's what they look like though, and they go all the way here. Actually, you can use those as an eyelet. So that was basically the top eyelet, and when you tighten it up, it pulls the heel. It definitely cups the top of the ankle, and then I felt like the strands were pulling your heel, you know, keeping it in place back here. So in the direction that it's going, that's exactly where it's pulling your foot to, and it worked out perfectly in my opinion. Inside was nice and soft, no hot spots, no rubbing, no problems whatsoever. I was able to wear these with any kind of socks, and it was great. So materials, just grade A materials, fit, true to size, and I absolutely loved it. Ventilation on the sneaker, honestly there really isn't any. You have the full leather upper, there's no perforations on it whatsoever, the tongue is not mesh. And that, you know, what more can you say? I mean, if there's no breathability, there's no breathability, right? Did it have a factor in the performance value of it? For me personally, no, it didn't. The little foam cages here really held your foot in there. Both sides didn't matter, and there was no slipping whatsoever during movement, side to side, front to back. As long as you get your true size, you won't have any front to back slip as well. So you know, and then the addition of using those two eyelets, or the top two, I don't know what they're called, these little wire things, these loops, using that in there locked your heel down perfectly fine. So even though there was no ventilation, it did not cause a problem for me. But when I do rate the issue, it will be a 0 because there is absolutely no ventilation. Now all my reviews are based on my opinion, so when I give them a 1 to, I don't know what the scale number is, 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, and if I rate it a 0 because there's clearly no perforations in there, no breathability whatsoever, I mean, I'm not going to lie about it, I can't give it a 2 when there's 0 breathability in there. So but yeah, that's just my opinion. No breathability, didn't really do much as far as downplaying the shoe's performance. I thought that everything from traction on up was pretty much fantastic. Love the price, love the shoe, love Adidas, you know what I mean? So what else can you say? It was a great time to play in these, and I'm definitely want to get some more. Alright guys, so here's one more quick look at the shoe. Pretty much covered everything as far as the performance value goes. One thing with Adidas that you'll always get is 100% quality at an affordable price, which, I mean, seriously, you can't beat that, especially today. I remember when these shoes first came out, they cost around $100, and I bought these for $100. And again, this is like a 1998 sneaker, so there was no inflation due to importation of the manufacture of the product and all that stuff, because they were made in China or whatever it is, which these are made in China, so I think that's kind of a funny excuse, but that's neither here nor there. Everything about the shoe, traction could have been better, but again, they left everything, nearly everything, as it was originally. The only thing is that they used to use the feet you wear system for the cushioning, and they're no longer allowed to use that. So this is the torsion system, and all of that stuff. It's fairly the same. It was just tweaked a little bit so that they can patent it. And the uppers, really nice quality. Lockdown was great once you use the little loops up here, which is what they were. I'm pretty sure that's what they were made for. And even if they weren't, I used them anyways and it worked. So very little ventilation. Didn't matter much because all of this Phylon really caged your foot inside, both medial and lateral side, which was nice. They look clunky, they look heavy, they don't play like that, so don't worry about it. You still see players out there today, including Derrick Rose and a lot of college athletes, and they wear this sneaker and they perform at the highest level possible. So if that's any indication, it's a great purchase. I absolutely love them, and I think I might actually go get a couple more different colorways just because these are really, really fresh in my opinion. So that takes care of the review. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support, and until next time guys, have a good one.